Hello everybody, and welcome to whatever episode of Talkin Ranbu this is. Episode 7, I think.
Is it? Is this going up after the last one?
No, I might put it up before.
Okay, so there might be one at some point where we get the numbers completely wrong. I guess this is more topical. But
This is so
that means I
important.
probably shouldn't talk about the game at all right now, because...
Okay, yeah, let's upload this one first, because I'm sure people really want to hear us talk about the anime, because it's so new and relevant. So next episode, we're not going to know anything about the anime, and it's going to be like...
And next
weird
episode will be a
stuff.
whole thing where we're like, man, we haven't done this in ages.
Yeah, that also, but we do talk about all the game updates in the next episode, but I want to release this one more now, right in this moment. So we
And
just
also,
watched... Oh, sorry, you go.
Spoilers. I just want to put one thing game-related first. I will, in the next episode, be discussing like the fact that I haven't got Nihongo yet, and I've got Nihongo now, so my life's amazing right now.
I love Torabu, it's great.
He came out over a year ago, and I finally got Nihongo.
About bloody time.
Mm-hmm.
We've only been grinding for him for like forever, so...
Yeah. I'm free from 6-4. The shackles.
Now to move on to World 7.
Mm-hmm.
But today, we are going to be talking about one very, very specific thing, and that is Touken Ranbu Hanamaru Episode 1. First, Cam's not here because it's midnight, and I'm pretty sure he's at work tomorrow. But I really wanted to talk about it now, as did Alain, and it just needed to happen. So
We apparently both watched it at literally the exact same time somehow, and both tweeted about it at the exact same time, which is like, we're both awake.
let's do it.
It's like midnight, but that's fine.
Midnight's okay. It's not like
It
I've
is.
got life to live tomorrow or anything. It's fine. But Touken Ranbu Hanamaru Episode 1. Where the fuck do I start?
It was fucking awful. But it was also absolutely amazing.
I feel like, you know how people who played Kantai thought the anime was amazing, and we were sort of like, yeah.
Well, I don't know, you seem
Well,
fairly positive on Kantai.
I sort of liked it because I was expecting like 1 out of 10 sort of anime.
Like, I didn't like the Kantai anime at all, and I was able to sort of cotton on to certain bits of the game references because of the stuff that's similar to Torabu.
But as Touken Ranbu, having an anime finally after what feels like 1 billion years, I thought as a first episode it was pretty bad, but as someone who really likes Torabu, it was amazing. I thought it was so good.
It was like right about a few minutes in where it's just been this massive fustercluck, and I'm just like, yeah, what was I thinking about? What the fact that when they showed just Yamato no Kami and Cashew on the promotional stuff, where it's just like, okay, if they focus on just these two, then they can have a good story. But if they want to actually put every character in, it's impossible to make it a good story, because you just can't have a short series with 50 characters. Like 50 main characters, so that just wasn't going to work. And yeah, it was very clear from the get-go that they're not going to try and make it work, because it's just like, here's this person have 1 line of dialogue, here's this person have 1 line of dialogue. It's a complete mess.
I like how pretty much how like most of the swords that were in it were like, my master used to be this person and they did this thing that's relevant to history.
It was so completely not subtle. It was terrible.
I'm like, oh, my sword histories. Oh, I worked really hard on those, and they're just like, I used to belong to Okita Soji, and he's a member of the Shinsengumi, and blah blah blah.
Because they even teased us with it being like story focused at the beginning with the whole sort of
I did like that
Ikudaya
first
incident
bit though.
stuff.
Like when they went into the Ikudaya bit, there was like a nice little. I say a nice little reference. There was a reference to Okita Soji because they were shouting for this Soji man who owned Cashew and Yamato no Kami. And there was a bit where he, like, killed one of the dudes, and then he started coughing up blood violently, and that's because Okita Soji died of TB. Like, he had tuberculosis and died of TB, so that's why that was a thing. And I thought, that's a clever little reference that
you know
adds
how
a bit of mystery.
at the start, the only line of dialogue was Soji, and that was the only word that was said.
Yeah.
Do you think he actually this voice actor was hired to say it multiple times. Which I think they just had him say it once.
Yeah, maybe.
And then they repeated it, like Roadrunner.
Maybe, I don't know. They bring Pikachu in every week, so...
It's true.
I don't know how anime works.
But I mean, we may have be sounding like we're very down on this, but don't get me wrong, I fucking loved it.
I'm genuinely quite surprised that you liked it as much as you seem to. But then again, it's Torabu, so...
I am, like, right on the edge of getting back into anime, so...
This is the quality that's going to push you over.
Yeah, I was just like, you know what, screw it, let's go for it. And, I mean, it understands its audience. I don't think it's trying to be anything other than...
Something for fans of Torabu.
A little accompaniment, a little chunk of fan service that's not attempting to try and exist on its own. It's just like, yeah, you play the game. You know what this little orange symbol means.
Yeah. Oh, there were so many little bits in there that just made me smile. Trying to think of one off the top of my head. The biggest one is the one that you said on Twitter where they took Ishikiri to World 6 and he got stuck in the wall because you're not supposed to take Odachis there.
So it was they basically when they said they were going to Ikidaya in, which is 6-3 and 6-4, I was like, okay, like who are they going to choose? Like, have we actually got an appropriate team set up here? And they list off all these. They go for Imano Tsurugi. They go for like Nikari. It's like, yeah, okay, these are good swords. Namazuwa, yeah, we're in there. Ishikiri, what are you playing at? Who is this Saniwa? Unless he is on 6-4 specifically, and he wants his pocket Odachi for the boss node, which is in daylight conditions, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think that was the case because they spent the entire time indoors, and then they swept the rug right from under me and was like, Alain, that was on purpose. That was a very good reference. We're very clever. We know the game.
They were really smart with it, and I have to admit the little animation of him being stuck in the wall with the little
with the tiny little tantos. That was amazing.
It was so good. Oh god, there were so many things about it that I loved. I loved the fact that Hasube is like the attendant to the Saniwa, so he's like a right little kiss ass.
Oh yeah, he's the secretary, as it were.
And I don't know, it just makes me smile where he was like, the master is going to send me because I'm so wonderful, and then just like he never got sent. Just like stuff like that.
Do you reckon that's going to be a running joke throughout the entire show?
Maybe, yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
I hope they show like a little clip into the Saniwa's office of him just like crushing tantos into raw materials. Just like all these redundant little Imano Tsurugis and Gokutais just getting ground into beef.
Yeah, you just see the Saniwa like holding down a Gokutai like, you need to leave, Hasube.
Or it's just like a bit where they're trying to make another sword eat other swords. It's like, no, you need to get your stats up. You eat your brother.
Oh god. The opening was probably one of the best bits for me, actually. Because I'd heard the song before, and I really, really like the opening song because it's very fun and bubbly and whatever. But I pretty much screamed every time I saw a sword that's like on my quote-unquote team, I guess. So when I saw Hanabami, I was like, oh my god, it's Hanabami! And then 2 seconds later, Ichigo was there, and I was freaking out about that. And then Gigi was there a bunch. And then the pièce de résistance, Taratachi, was there, which surprised me because I'm relatively sure Taratachi isn't very popular, so...
I mean, not only was he there, he was getting pissed with Jiratachi and Nihongo, which was the best.
Which I'm pretty sure, obviously him and Jiratachi together makes perfect sense. But did him and Nihongo ever interact in the game?
It's just because Jiratachi and Nihongo are both like the pissheads.
Oh, okay.
They're the ones that drink loads, so
because
them drinking together.
I feel like mostly they had like little references between them, like Imano Tsurugi and Iwatushi were together, Horikawa and Izumi no Kami were together, and then they had the Kotetsu swords and the bath at the end.
Which was amazing.
The little turtle swimming around in the water.
Yeah, that was freaking... It was Urashima's little turtle that he goes around.
Yeah. Oh god, there was just like so many... I don't know, actually. Are Shikirimaru and Nikari a thing? Like, are they related? I don't know. Because I don't feel like Ishikirimaru has...
I don't think so, no.
Because they are
Not
in the
to
same...
my knowledge. Unless I'm an idiot.
Ishikirimaru...
Because Nikari's related to Juzumaru.
He is, isn't he?
I don't think he's related
Are they in
to...
the same school? Like, I don't know.
And worth noting, what I sort of picked up on was basically from every sword that was visible in the opening, it seems to be Nihongo backwards. So Nihongo is the most up-to-date sword there. I believe after Nihongo, the next newest sword was Goto, and Goto onwards is not in this, I would assume, and otherwise they would put them in the opening because they put fucking everyone else in the opening.
Yeah.
No Odenta for us this time.
Ishikirimaru is in the Sanjo school, so literally has nothing to do with Nikari.
Unless they're just mates.
Yeah, maybe they are.
It's because they're rocking green. I don't know.
I literally no idea. But then they had Yaman Bagari and Yamabushi chopping wood together. Even though you couldn't tell it was Yamabushi because he was in his casual wear. So.
Yep. It's like, why are you Ichigo suddenly? Frickin' Yaman Bagari is such an edgelord.
He just doesn't like.
He had his hoodie and he was just acting all deep and like moving.
Was he like, I'm just a replica sword. I'm not a real sword.
It's pretty funny.
But there was just like a lot of little things. I think Yaman Bagari for me is the weirdest design-wise because I don't think he looks much like his in-game avatar.
I think the art style in general makes a lot of the swords look a bit unrecognisable.
I don't like Cashew that much.
And also partly, I think, because they're all in their casual wear for me, and I'm not used to seeing them that way. Generally.
Yeah, that's true.
Like seeing Shoko Daikari, like that, and he just looked a bit thin for Shoko Daikari.
Yeah, because he's usually like beefed out because of his massive layers of armor and stuff.
And the little clip of them cooking in the opening, and what's his face, isn't it? The other Dato Masamune sword.
Okurikara.
Okurikara. He looked frickin' thin as well, and I was like, huh.
I don't think I caught him in the opening actually.
Yeah, he's in it, like, you know the scene in the kitchen that Crunchyroll tweeted out?
Ah, is he in that bit?
In that clip, he's just standing in the background. Which
let me have a look.
Anyone who wants a good laugh, go to Crunchyroll's Twitter and read the replies to their tweet about Torabu.
Oh, should we just have a read of it now?
Hanamaru.
Should we just have a read of it now, just for fun?
Yeah, because like there's just a clip of like Bishonen cooking, and so everyone's like, "Oh, is this a new season of Shokugeki no Soma?"
Yeah, sure it is. You watch it. Oh yeah, more cooking anime. Cooking with swords. Is this a cooking anime? Too much yaoi. New cooking anime. That tweet was a mistake.
Yep.
I don't know. There's just so much that
the thing with the episode itself, like, it's so hard to talk about it as a single entity because it didn't really exist as an actual contained story. It was just a bunch of random little nothings. What I honestly think, if this is going to be the format of the show going forwards, I reckon it should have been like a 50 episode 4-minute short series. Because all these little pieces with just loads of little skits going throughout the episode would have made for great little sort of chunks of, oh, that's quite funny, to just sort of air once a day or something.
Yeah, that's true. It depends if they want to try and keep a, I don't know, quote-unquote story going on with Yamato no Kami dealing with Okita dying, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they could definitely sort of broaden it and go into some story-related stuff. It's just that for this to be how the first episode was, it doesn't seem like they really want to. It's like, yes, they did go into, honestly, more action-based stuff than I was expecting them to at all, based on the promotional stuff and based on the fact that we've got another show coming out, which is very likely to be purely action-based. Well, a lot heavier than this is.
Yes.
But it was just like, yeah, what I believe is going to be the case is that this is going to be the big fan servicey thing. This is going to be the, if you play the game, you get a chuckle out of the the references, and then the UFO table anime next year is going to be like, you know, an actual story, something that could draw in new fans and potentially, you know, bring outsiders to the game and actually be accessible.
Yeah, I think that's true, actually. Me and Cam spoke about the anime when it was announced, and we didn't really think too much about Hanamaru because both of them were announced at the same time, so we were like, well, this one will probably be more like the Kantai Collection adaptation, whereas the Ufotable one is probably going to be a lot more story-based because, I don't know, just seems like it could be, and
yeah.
Ufotable aren't really known for their slice of life, I guess.
No, but I mean, UFO Table haven't really, they don't really have the same reputation they used to because of, like, I mean, if we're talking game adaptations, God Eater did terribly, and Tales of Zestiria, I don't think did very well either.
I think that got a second season.
Say that? I don't think they were very well renowned, but I mean, video game adaptations tend to be pretty bad anyway.
Tales of...
Especially something like this. Like, there is so little in Torabu to go off of.
No, I think Tales of Zestiria was alright. Like, it rated about 7.5, which isn't terrible.
Okay.
It's getting a sequel.
I'm actually, speaking of ratings, I'm shocked that on Crunchyroll, this episode of Hanamaru has 4 out of 5 currently. I was expecting it to be, like, nothing.
One of the first comments is like, oh man, so far this season seems like shit, harem, and pandering garbage. Because there's, like, Utapri this season, as well as, like, another reverse harem-y thing, but this isn't a reverse harem?
Who knows?
It's just got, like, a lot of boys in it, but...
It's quite funny that the top comment I see on the episode is, I thought at least 50% of these characters were female before I heard their voice. Which is
my god,
enough. Mean, there's a scene where Cashew's just painting his nails like a ripe flower.
The bit where, I don't remember who it is. One of the characters is pelting snowballs at Soza, and he, like, dodges them all, and he's like, oh, so graceful. I literally keeled over and could not stop laughing.
Oh,
just
great.
The way it was drawn was so weird.
How much of a kick did you get out of every time you heard battle audio? So, like, the actual things they say in battle. And I was just like, oh.
I think the biggest thing for me was when Yoshiyuki was just in his room, like, playing with his gun, going, guns are of the future, swords are old-fashioned, yeah, I'm gonna practice with my gun, because he, like, says stuff about his gun all the time in the game.
Yeah.
But when he shot through the wall, that tickled me.
I feel so weird, like, watching this with someone who didn't play the game. Who didn't really get any of it, because I'd just be, like, chuckling away, and they'd just be like, what the fuck is this? And I'd be like, what do you see? That's great because of this reason. Which I feel like is a lot of what happened.
This is why I wanted to make the sword history videos, I just couldn't do it.
I think, like, this is a lot of what seemed like happened when we did the Oko Anime Club episode with John on Kantai.
Where he was just basically like, this is why this is a thing.
Yeah,
and we were like,
this is all a thing. And we were just like, oh, that's interesting. It's just like, I mean, it doesn't make the show any better. For me, as someone who doesn't appreciate or isn't a part of the source material, but, like, I mean, if someone comes up to me and says they think this show is terrible, I will 100% agree with them to a degree. Like, if someone hates this, they have every reason to hate this. This is for a very specific audience. I just happen to be a part of it.
It feels really weird to be... Like, I was saying this in the episode that I did with Cam about the anime. I was saying... I don't think I've ever been so attached to the source material of a thing before it got an adaptation.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Because I've, like, read manga before, and then it's gotten an anime, like, My Love Story, Orange, that sort of stuff. But with Touken Ranbu, I've invested hours of my life into either playing the game, or making videos about the game, or researching the characters, and I feel very attached to the source material, even if I don't play the game to the same level that you do.
This is sort of a lot more exciting than most other situations, because, like, if, let's say, either of us would have, like, a manga or a light novel series or something that we are really, really into, has not been adapted yet, if that adaptation comes, we're just going to be experiencing this exact same story in a different medium. But this, because the game is how it is, this and the other anime are entirely different things. It's an entirely new experience based on something else.
Yeah.
As opposed to just retelling the same story, which I think is what makes it so much more exciting. Because it's just like, I have no idea what they're going to do with this. And it is just like, again, it's just rewarding you for knowing what it's referencing.
Yeah, I'd say that's true. Sorry, my voice is a bit wibbly today.
Wibbly.
Should we talk about character designs?
Yeah.
Which one was your favourite?
Which renewed? I think. I mean, this ties into easily my favourite moment of the episode, and I think the best translated design in some regards would be the moment when we see Hachisuka and he's like the only one who's in his full armor, and he's just like blinding everyone and just looks so completely out of place compared to everyone in their casual wear. Oh, it was amazing because he's just looking all regal and amazing and acting like the bellend that he is. It's like, oh, I'm a Kotetsu sword, you see, we do this.
And then he just... I feel like someone goes, yeah, what's that for, though?
Yeah, I was like half expecting Nagasone to pop in at the corner and being like, excuse me, mate. No, you're not.
Oh, God, I cannot wait until those two, like, meet and just, like, fight all the time. It's gonna be great.
They just slap each other together.
This is just
see,
so
those
much.
two are who you should have taken to 6-3. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, you should have, but you didn't because you're a noob, Saniwa. They did the same thing with the Saniwa in this anime that they did with the Admiral as well.
Yeah, which, I mean, is sort of what makes sense.
Just makes me a little bit sad.
Just sort of, I mean, it's not going to be like IMAS. They're not going to sort of characterize the Saniwa like they did with Producer. Because I think it's not really necessary. There isn't really as much of a connection between the Saniwa and the swords. I want them to do it in the Ufotable one, even if it's just like a character that doesn't really have a face. Just like have a Saniwa there, I guess. Because it makes sense for them to like find swords and revive them, and it's just like I feel a bit like the Saniwa has to be there, obviously. But whenever I think about the Admiral or the Saniwa in this, I'm like, it just seems a bit like they didn't really know what to do, so they just went with the easiest option. Yeah, but I mean, like, I guess if we look at this as what it is, like a little version of the game in anime form, like as the player in Touken Ranbu, the amount of direct contact we have with the swords is minimal. Because we aren't actually there, I guess, as the Saniwa on the expeditions and on the sorties. We are sort of barking orders. Yeah, I suppose. And I would handing bits of paper to Hasebe as he tells everyone he's going. I feel like that's, I guess, an accurate way to present the role of the Saniwa in many regards. It's just now I'm imagining the Saniwa to be a bit of like a shut-in that doesn't really do a whole lot apart from... I mean, what are we? I don't know. What? My favourite character design, though. Is it Soza? Soza was good. Like, I didn't realise he had different coloured eyes. Yeah, Soza's got that heterochromia. I literally had no idea. And then I was like, he's got a green and a blue one. I'm assuming that's not an accident, so... And that's just a complete animation fuck-up. Oops. I thought Amano Tsurugi was pretty amazing as well. Yeah, I really liked... Ishikirimaru was the other one that I liked. Yeah, Ishikirimaru looked really different to me because he wasn't wearing his hat at any point. Yeah, he wasn't wearing his hat, and they put, like... Oh, he might have been in the little, like, animation where he's getting jabbed by the Tantos. Yeah, but he had, like... his hair looks so strange when he's not wearing his hat. A bunch of them have, like, the Taratachi eyeshadow going on. Yeah. Which I thought was a bit strange, to be honest, because they don't do that. That's a point. Does Kassen not usually have that? Because he definitely had
I
it
don't think he does.
In the anime.
I can have a check. Cousin.
I don't think you can really see on the sprite.
I'm actually looking at the sprites and I just can't see fucking anything whatsoever.
His hair's just flooping all over his face, so maybe.
It's not like super obvious if he does. Same for Ishikirimaru.
Oh no, he's got it. He's got it.
Has
you
he
can
got
see
it?
in his casual outfit.
Maybe this is the fault because I'm never using these characters in in the casual wear, because most of the characters that are in the anime right now I don't care for as much as other characters, I guess.
Yeah.
What about Ishikirimaru?
I mean, there's no Kiwame Sayo, who is an absolute boss, by the way.
I just want to check Ishikirimaru's like casual design. Oh, look at him without his hat. He's so cute.
Such an old man. I'm surprised that Munachika didn't actually have like a speaking role in this episode.
I imagine whenever he comes in, he's gonna be a big deal, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, it's this dude who's like really good." Cause
it's the GGs.
Because he's one of the swords under heaven or whatever. I don't know. I wonder if they'll call him Gigi. I imagine they will.
Yeah, very likely.
Or maybe some of the Sanjo swords will like refer to him
Yeah.
as Gigi or whatever.
Oh god, actually, you were mentioning before about the thing where Souza, around the scene with the
Are you going to say the horse poop?
No, it's when Souza, he legitimately says the "I am but a bird in a cage" line.
Yeah.
which to me, that it was that moment where I was just like, okay, someone watching this, not understanding what that's referring to, is going to be completely blanking and thinking it's just like this freaking queer ass idiot just saying strange things. But no, he's a bird in a cage because he's this decorative sword that never got used in battle, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, and he made reference to, like, when everyone else was going, "Oh, my master was this person," he was like, "I went through many hands before I ended up here. I am but a bird in a cage." I wonder if he'll, like, never fight because of that. Like, he'll never be taken on a sword.
I hope not, because he'll get mullered, because he's shit.
Do you reckon a sword's going to break this series?
No. Freaking... I mean, let's be real, this Saniwa handed out an omamori to a blimmin' Yamato no Kami. Like, come on, that's not worth an omamori, let's be real.
Maybe he, Saniwa has a plethora of them, like massive boxes of them.
Probably.
Because they just had to make sure they had to spend all that money on.
I mean, I've got shed loads of them because I've never needed to use one because I've always turned back when they go red, because that was good advice. That was good advice that Hasabe gave. It's like, if you're injured, come home.
It's not failure, but we don't want you breaking.
Mm-hmm.
What other bits were there? I feel like there were just so many.
That's what it was. Bits. It was just, as I said, like, it would have been so much better, I think, as a 4-minute short thing, because all these little chunks would have been self-contained instead of just this episode feeling like a massive sort of compilation.
There was the bit where they, I think Yamato no Kami walked out of the citadel into, like, the open area. He got hit with a snowball, and then you hear, like, it's either Gokotai or Imanotsurugi just go, gomenasai, and then, like, all this text comes up on the screen, which is like, this sword's a wakizashi, and it's got this name.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's happened in, like, Durarara and fucking Bakano and stuff before, but I usually don't like it, but I was okay with it because I was like, I know the swords, I know what they are, and I know their names, so I don't actually need to read any of this.
I mean, I think it's just because it's in this show, because there are so many fucking characters, and they are obviously going to have minimal screen time each. Like, aside from, I mean, Kashu and Yamato no Kami potentially had the most important roles in this, next to Hasabe, I guess. So the two, I guess, cover swords that were in all the promotional material have actually had the most screen time and do seem to be the most important. But, I mean, aside from them, the other people are just going to get little snippets here and there. So yeah, you just need a little thing to say, yeah, this is this person's name, and you'll hear a little quip from them every now and again.
It was just a bit jarring to be like, here's another shot with all this information on it, which luckily didn't need to read, but I don't know. There's just little bits and pieces.
One thing I do want to figure out though, yeah, is because they had the little bit in the courtyard where it was every sword that was currently in the Citadel when he's calling out for who's going to go on the sortie, and he says everyone else is on expeditions. I need to check everyone that's in the courtyard and see if there were exactly 18 swords missing.
So they were, all the expeditions were full?
Yeah. Oh god, and also, this flipping Saniwa is a cheap ass, right? He's got an anime, right? But he couldn't purchase his other 2 repair slots.
I thought that was quite funny, where he was like, can you open up the other repair slots? And they're like, no, we can't ask the Saniwa that, you're joking.
Oh, it's like DMM points are expensive. Rebellion.
It was just, little references like that just made me very, very happy. And I think we probably talked about the anime longer than the actual episode went on for.
Oh, of course.
Trying to think if there's anything else that I want to bring up. I like the opening theme a lot, apart from that bit where in the animation Cashew and Yamato Nakami are dancing, because that just looks cheap and not good.
Mate, that was the best bit.
No, it wasn't, because Akashi was in there.
That's true.
And when Akashi wasn't in there, fucking Hachisuka was in there in the bath. With 2 other men.
It was pretty great. Speaking of the bath, when Ishikiri-maru's in the bath and Hasabe's like, you need to go on a sortie, he's like, now? Okay. No. You can finish your bath.
Oh, what did you think to the way that they, travelled through time? Because I thought that was quite interesting, when they had this, clock thing that they, set dials on, and then it, glowed them away. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. It was a way to do it, I guess. We haven't actually talked about, the action-y bit and how it actually went down, because I would like to assume that the big boss motherfucker that is about to destroy Yamato Nakami was indeed a Rarity 5 Yari. And he was in the right place.
Did they not show it again?
Not sure what again.
What was trying to get him? What pushed him down the stairs? Or
it was a Yari.
Oh, but you don't know the rarity. Okay.
I don't know if it was a Rarity 5 Yari. That's the thing. I don't think it was moving quick enough to be a Rarity 5 Yari.
Literally wouldn't have seen it.
He would have just taken a bite out of him and then fucked off. Been like, hey, I've only got 10 HP, but you can't deal with me.
There was that much to say about the action stuff, because it was they beat up some enemy swords.
It's kind of cool how Nikari was being such a badass, cutting them bitches in half, and then they just sort of dissipate. Nikari, who was acting like moe as fuck, even though he's a sword that kills children, you know?
You know, if they make Nikari likable in this anime, I'll be grateful, because I don't hate the guy. He's no Kassen.
I mean, I really like Nikari just on the basis that he's a wakizashi and a bastard strong wakizashi. And he's Juzumaru's friend, so...
Look into the characters. He kills children.
Oh man, do you think Juzumaru will be in the UFO table one?
He's got to be,
I don't
surely.
think he will. I don't think so. I think it's going to use the same sort of selection. If anything, I think the UFO table show will have a lot less swords in it.
Probably.
And if the others are in it, they will be sort of in the background, not really being characters, but just being there. So you'll see them in a scene, and you'll be like, "Hey, it's that sword."
Which is gonna suck if all of the ones chosen are ones that you personally don't like. For me, so far, they've revealed Gigi, who I love, obviously. Potentially Yamato no Kami. Definitely Yoshiyuki and Izumi no Kami, which are all characters that I quite like. So I guess I'm in the fortunate camp so far.
I mean, for swords past Goto that you really like, isn't it just Shinano, though, that you're really into?
I like Juzumaro, I just don't like the events that he's been a part of.
But he's not like one of your... Like Juzumaro, the three Sadamunes. Juzumaro, the three Sadamunes, the Odenta and Yoshiwishi Tsurugi. Woo woo woo.
I like Moriyoshi. He's a Sadamune sword, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like Moriyoshi.
He's pretty great.
But I fucking like him after the bloody weeks that it took for me to get him. I like Juzumaro, but I don't have him. I think the problem is I don't have most of the swords that are past Goto, apart from Shinano, and now Moriyoshi.
Yeah.
So that might be my issue.
Yeah, I mean, generally, a sword will grow on you. Unless it's something that's like, immediately, oh my gosh, you are perfection. Like my longing for Kiko right now. And, like, I did it before I'd gotten my... We're talking about the game now, all of a sudden.
Oops.
Before Sayo came back from his Kiwame training, I was like, with this little team I've got here now, let's just take one excursion into 7-3 and see how bad it is. And on the first node, like, I lost troops, and I was like, oh god.
Did you take Hasabe with you? Oh my god.
No, Hasabe's retired. He's level 99.
I wonder if they'll make reference to the fact that Hasabe's terrible at keeping troops with him.
I mean, they haven't shown troops yet.
Yeah, that was actually a thing. I thought they'd have, like, you know how in the Kantai Collection anime they had, like, little scouty guys that came and stuff. I wondered if they'd have anything like, I don't know, weird archer men just like running in like, I'm here to fire arrows.
Right. What I would assume is, I don't think they're going to do it with this. I'm not going to bother with it. But what I could definitely see happening with the UFO table show is them having like actual armies in a sense.
Yeah, that's something that I thought about.
The troops would actually be like a unit of blokes, not like little tiny dudes that sit on their shoulders, but they'd actually be sort of leading a regiment, as it were.
Well, I assume that from what I've seen from Ufotable, their anime can be pretty serious, I guess, rather than lighthearted, so I doubt they'd be like, oh man, look at these big blokes on fucking horses and the little creepy men that follow them with shields.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine they would have something similar to an army.
We'll see. But again, they could easily just like not include them in terms of sort of focusing more on one-on-one combat than anything sort of siege-based.
It's a really weird thing to speculate about, I think, because there's literally like no way for us to know what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even know what they're going to do with the rest of this show, but I think I've got a good idea based on what they've shown here. But I'll watch it.
Yeah, you will. Because you like Touken Ranbu anime, even if they're terrible. I don't think it was, like, bad. I just don't think it would be at all appealing to people who don't play the game.
Oh, no, it was bad. Like, for as a standalone piece of fiction, it's bad. Like, I don't see any structure to this episode that would be entertaining. And sort of the way they sort of ham-handed and forced those little things in there. It was... As I said, it's just purely for a specific type of viewer. But as a standalone thing that exists outside of its source material, it's terrible.
Yeah, I guess. But I just want to believe.
I want to believe.
10 out of 10.
By the way, we're allowed to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Of course. That's fine.
I feel like whenever I'm doing my top anime of the year and this ends up at number 1, people are going to be mad.
I mean, it's fine. I don't think you have that many douche clamps following you these days.
I don't know. I got some great comments yesterday. Hashtag, I came here to judge bitches. Sorry.
I mean, that's clearly the best.
That comment didn't make me smile.
So, I mean, you are just a Torabi channel now anyway, so...
Yeah, apparently. No, I uploaded a video earlier today. That was about anime. It just had a lot of talking about Touken Ranbu, so...
Yeah, it's got Torabu on the thumbnail... Outside of, like, live streams and a Pokemon unboxing, you've been Torabu for several months now.
Well... oops. And this week's not going to help because I'm going to have at least 2 episodes of this and hopefully a sword history, so...
It's alright. It's topical. And oh my god, I just broke the talking about anime cherry.
You haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, I haven't done that to an audience in a year or more.
And what better way to come back than with the Touken Ranbu anime.
Which I wasn't even planning on watching initially, but I think I managed to gear myself back into this at an appropriate time.
Yeah. And hopefully it ends up being good enough for you to not hate anime again at the end of it.
I mean, I know what I'm coming into here. There's nothing riding on this.
There's everything riding on this.
I wasn't really expecting it to be anything much, and it ended up being... I guess it's potentially worse than I thought it was going to be, but I sort of underestimated just how much of a fanboy I am. It's like this could be the worst thing in the world, and I'm still gonna love it. It's just like, doesn't matter how bad it is. Akashi will walk on the screen and yawn, and I'll just jizz everywhere. I'll just be like, oh my god, 10 out of 10. Look at him. Look how sleepy he is. Oh god, he's got Aizen in a head. He's giving Aizen a noogie. Oh my god. Ah.
Oh god, I can't wait for that episode because you'll literally be like screaming.
I'll vegetate. So, is there anything else really?
I think the only thing that I can say that's left is that I did not stop smiling this entire first episode. It was just like massive grin on my face. Much. Just absolutely loved it, even if it wasn't the best thing I've ever seen. But
I wouldn't say I was smiling the entire time. But it was like, because at the very start, I was sort of watching it and thinking, like, how is this going to be? What's this going to be like? And when I sort of had I initially had the realization of, wow, this is really bad, before I had the realization of, like, wow, this is the best thing ever. So I was looking at it sort of from a outside perspective before I realized that I'm me.
Yeah. And then you were like, oh my god, Touken Ranbu, I love that. And I think the highlight of the episode for me was Ishikiri getting stuck in the wall. It was so good.
It is like very much a throw up between that and Hachisuka being all shiny.
There's so many good parts for Torabu fans, obviously. But I think with that we'll just end the episode here because we've been talking about it for a bit too long, probably. But let us know what you thought about the first episode in the comments down below. Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.
I feel like potentially there may be some non-Torabu people listening because it's an anime thing. So if you are someone who has never played Torabu before, just let us know just how terrible it was for you.
We'll only be a bit upset about it.
No, I'll be honestly surprised if there's anyone who likes this who doesn't like Torabu. But hey, and also disclaimer, as we said before, the next episode of Talkin Ranbu that comes out is going to involve a lot of us pretending that we've been gone for a while because we recorded that before.
Sorry.
So there you go. As long as you get that one out before the current event ends, because otherwise it'll be
when does the current event end?
11th.
All right.
Sweet.
Well, thank you for watching, everybody, and we will talk to you soon about something else.
Okay, and Alan's tip of the day is to watch the Torabu anime.
Thanks for that amazing tip of the day.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.